I was going to say.
Seen here for a while for the Royal Navy historic flight in the majestic Fairey Swordfish yacht.
What about torpedo?
Initially given to the design that became the Swordfish. The first Swordfish flew in 1934. The Fleet Air Arm of the Royal Navy took it into service a couple of years later. This was an aeroplane that, with its Bristol Pegasus engine, which was new, down to 82 knots if it had an underslung torpedo. But that slow speed, to some extent, counted in the Swordfish's favour, because the aircraft was able to manoeuvre on a sixpence. We see a little of that with this machine's tight turns during this display today. And also, some of the guns the German Navy were using were difficult to on the aircraft because of such slow speed. By all accounts, a delight to fly, the Swordfish won its spurs many occasions during wartime. The attack on the Italian fleet in port at Taranto in November 1940 was typical. 21 Swordfish were involved. These lumbering biplanes, making their attacks that day, effectively stopped the Italian battle fleet from taking any further offensive part in the Second World War. Then Colin was mentioning earlier when we saw the Catalina, the chase after the German battleship Bismarck. On that occasion in 1941, it was a Swordfish that put a torpedo through the vessel's steering gear, allowing the Royal Navy's home fleet to sink the Bismarck with gunfire. Then in February 1942 came the so-called Channel Dash, when a force of just 6 Swordfish attempted to stop 3 German vessels, the Prinz Eugen, the Scharnhorst and the Gneisenau, from proceeding up the English Channel from the French port at Brest to the German port at Wilhelmshaven, modified to become dedicated carriers, but also the merchant aircraft carrier, or so-called MAC ships, which were oilers or grain ships that simply had a flat deck welded on top of the hull. A flight deck that, out of necessity, was far smaller than would ordinarily have been put on an aircraft carrier. And then, of course, they flew from the regular carriers themselves. This Swordfish from the Royal Navy Historic Flight, a Mark I built by Blackburn Aircraft at Sherburn in Elmet, and served with the Fleet Air Arm from 1941 to 44 when it was transferred to the Royal Canadian Air Force. And here, a slow fly past with the naval ensign flying from one of the rear crew positions. They're getting a great view of Duxford, the rear crewman taking the salute. turned away from the rear crew. We won't see this aircraft carrying on in airworthy condition. And the same goes for the next aeroplane. We've already seen a Fury and Sea Fury. We're about to see another example of the latter once the Swordfish has landed. It's crew today, headed up by Lieutenant Commander Glenn Allison. So now we're looking out for the next aeroplane, which is operated also by the Royal Navy Historic Flight, but owned by Naval Aviation Limited, the operating arm of the Fly Navy Heritage Trust. We were talking about the engines of the Fury and Sea Fury earlier. Now the Sea Fury that we saw, that T-20 from the Fighter Collection, has been re-engined with an American Pratt Whitney R2800. Well, the Sea Fury that's about to be on display, like the air leasing operated Fury we saw earlier, has the original Bristol Centaurus 2.5